Welcome back to another video. My name is LUNARWASLOST. If you feel like dropping a like, a subscribe, or a dislike, or a mean comment, go ahead. I won't give a shit. But today we're gonna be talking about experiences and you experiencing what you basically want on a day-to-day basis. And I'm gonna reference the holographic universe again. So to give context to what I'm saying is basically, I don't know if I've done a video where I actually talked about the situation in a medical type of way, but in the holographic universe, there was a story about a couple survivors from, like, I don't know if it was, okay, YouTube, don't flag me, don't kill me, but it was when the Nazis were just absolutely demolishing shit over there and just killing Jews. But I know that's probably a sensitive topic for YouTube, so any YouTube moderators watching this for educational purposes, don't kill me. But there was recordings of a couple people in there, and I don't know if this was the same sort of situation, but like between each person, but there was one guy recorded, and it's actually recorded in the holographic universe, who, to withstand everything that happened at Auschwitz, he had to go into a constant meditative state to endure all the torture. And he got to a point where it was literally like the movie Lucy, if anybody has watched that. If not, she basically unlocked, like, I think 99% of her brain, or like 100% of her brain. But the reason I bring that up is because he survived it, and not only that, he was able to rapidly heal his body, and he was able to stop himself from bleeding from any impales. And I think there was something about burns in the story, but I don't know if this is the same guy they took, or it was a guy from France who did this. But anyways, the way the holographic universe, how Michael Talbot broke it down, was basically it was the same sort of thing going on and same sort of control they had over their bodies. But this is why I say, now thinking about that situation and how people, go, they do the whole kind of, I don't know, like self-guilt trip or whatever it is, where they go, maybe I shouldn't be stressing. There's like a poor kid in Africa starving right now, or something along the lines of that. That's like this same situation. That's why I say whatever situation you're going through is really a matter of probably something that's in the realm of, maybe this has to happen to you for now, right? But with consciousness and with spirituality, you start realizing that the battle is really in your own mind, which these guys at Auschwitz, and I'm pretty sure a lot of them, had to realize. But this guy, it's literally recorded that he stayed in a meditative state and understood that maybe this is something that had to happen to him, and he started looking at it from a neutral point and ended up surviving. Think about that. Now, a lot of us, 100% of us, are not going through some wild Auschwitz shit. I know a lot of us got some probably petty parent shit that has happened to us. Maybe some of you out there listening to this still have it going on. But hey, if you're one of those people that say the thing about like a starving African child, take this situation into consideration, where a guy who was literally in Auschwitz was able to stay in a meditative state that got him through it, and he literally survived, and he was able to rapidly heal his body. But that's not the context of this. The context is, there are certain situations that I do believe we come here to experience to traumatize us and to make us into the person that basically begins to be spiritually inclined, or even whatever makes your path in life that you become. But the one thing I do understand is that everything happens for a reason. Situations do end up eventually ending. And a point, there's basically, I think it's pretty quick, depending on who it could be, but you never know. But I definitely think that at a certain point, it becomes all about your mind. Because, hey, he could have been living a good life up until that moment, and then that was his trauma. And in the moment of him getting that trauma, he literally meditated throughout the whole everything going on and managed to survive. So he obviously he was doing something right, and that shows you that meditation was extremely powerful, and that's exactly why it was mentioned in the book, because of like the healing properties. That was that topic of the book. But that made me actually think about and be able to use it in a way of thinking about how we go through certain situations in our life, and we really do create our own suffering, because he was able to keep his mind, like usually when your body is under that much stress and whatever they were putting them through, you're not having positive thoughts, and mostly you need your mind to be clear for to heal anything in your body, or to be this talented as he was, to stop bleeding or close wounds or whatever he did to the burns, because I don't remember that part of the book. But you need your mind to be in a state where you're just elevating over good and evil, and that's what the book talked about. So me bringing it up here, it's the same thing. I know that somebody's parents is probably not freaking, trying to, I actually don't want to bring anything up from Auschwitz, but, maybe it's like a hit or fights or physical abuse or stuff like that. Even though I know it seems so bad, because this is coming from somebody who was also abused by my mom's boyfriend, and the story that I gave to it, I could have continued to drag it throughout my entire life, but I didn't. I neutralized it, and that's what I'm telling you to do, is all of this stuff rents itself free in your head if you allow it to. You have to change the story on things that have happened to you, and I'm using that dude as an example because there are people that have been in way worse situations than probably you or me, even though if you are someone who's like a victim of abuse, it's pretty bad, petty shit, but, and everyone has their own situations that they could see as being very bad. But even if it's, regardless of what has happened, and you're the one who continues to repeat the trauma in your head, and you have to learn that you have to move past this. And it's even hindering you to move past to where you can even be this greater version of yourself. And for that guy, he was like a freaking science. This is the same guy as the French guy, which I think it was, like he became like a fucking science phenomenon, like a science anomaly. They couldn't explain how he was able to do this with his body. But you have to understand that's a very highly, highly skilled meditative thing. And that's why I just bring it up here, is he is a guy who could realize all of that really had to do with his mind. So what's stopping you from realizing that same exact thing? And yeah, that's pretty much it for him. But that's where it brings me to the point that I was making earlier about everything happens for a reason up until a certain point. Because I do definitely feel like to even get on this path, like someone like me or someone in my soul tribe has, we had to go through a level of trauma here. And then you have to get over the trauma and basically bounce back and know that you're a badass motherfucker that is only allowing this stuff to happen to them. It's no longer that it's happening to you. It's literally happening as a result of what you're choosing to accept. Because you don't have to accept any type of pain you're going through. You just create it for yourself if you're going to continuously sit in it. And that's with any situation, regardless of how much psychology we want to throw in there. Because what's funny about even mentioning that, and if you get dark psychology books or Mind Control 101, or you get any of these books, you end up realizing it all goes back to the same saying, is like the whole point of this is to get control of your mind so other people cannot get control of your mind. And it's literally through everything, through advertisements, through the materialistic items that you see a lot of people attached to. It's literally about you. So don't worry about other people, because they will get it. They will eventually get it, and especially if you level up yourself. But that's the whole point of this, is to get control of your mind, and it all comes back to that. That's why I say, people who are into psychology or whatever and like kind of doubt things like this, or fucking doubt meditation, which is funny because there's actually a girl who was an old friend of mine who told me like she kind of knew that meditation shit was bullshit, because she's like double psych major, some shit like that. Clearly didn't get far enough sadly, probably just a college student who listened to her professor who also gets stuff from the same books that you can order online and literally break down and do your own critical thinking, which I've done. And literally the holographic universe breaks this stuff down on how it is and how different psychologists didn't even want to believe that this was possible, but records and just stuff just kept popping up and popping up. So it's definitely true. This is all a battle of the mind. You have to keep your mind strong. You really have to, and I'm not one saying I'm there yet. Definitely not. This is coming from someone who's going through the process, and it just gets stronger every day. So I know you can definitely do it, but you definitely have to stay on top of it if you're going to, because it's a way of being. It's not just like you choose overnight, like you're like, I'm gonna be cracked tonight. No, it's you gotta constantly be saying you're gonna be absolutely powerful every single day, and you're gonna master this shit because you know it's all on you. And who's the one to pull yourself out of a rut, regardless of if you have people around you to support you, which that is good if you do, but it's ultimately yourself at the end of the day. So yeah, remember, it's all in your mind. And I'm out. Peace.